Oh, okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If we can have everybody seated. This session is going to be about technology. So we had a very good start. The microphones wouldn't work perfectly, so apologies for that. But we are going to take you around the world. I have Chris Stewart, who has traveled 18 hours all the way from Australia to be with us. So let's give her a hand for traveling so much. So welcome into my country. Thank you very much. We have Muad Al-Rawi, who has traveled all the way from Khobar to be with us. And we look forward to hearing from you. We have Saud Al-Rashid and Dr. Saeed from Kakst. So we are, Saud, by the way, is the guy with the money on this panel. So he's the investor. So we look forward to your money, Saud. Okay, so let's start. I think from what I have sensed in attending this forum is that there is a crisis, a global crisis that we are facing today. That crisis is that supply is not meeting the demand for critical minerals that are required for industry. And so, Chris, do you have the same sense, and do you see that there is a lack of supply as you are dealing with mainly suppliers to the mining industry, equipment suppliers? And is it a crisis? Should we be really worried? Should we be afraid of what's coming? And if so, how can we deal with it?
Well, I think it's a call to action. Because, we've faced many challenges before in the mining industry. And one of the things we're very good at is rising to the challenge and solving our problems. I'm not going to repeat any of the statistics about how much we need to produce and how much money it will take in the next couple of years to have all the minerals we need in the energy transformation. But what I can say is that we do have the technology, we do have the smarts, and we are very focused on innovation to ensure that we can produce the minerals of the future. So as I was introduced, I'm from Australia, and I head up AusMine. And AusMine is an industry association representing the mining, equipment, technology, and services sector. And for 30 years, we've been promoting innovation and technology in mining, recognizing the need for it and the need to advance, be more efficient, be safer, and really in that, including the whole community, and develop that supplier base as suppliers really make up a lot of the communities in which mining operates.
Thank you. So let me jump to Dr. Saeed Shehri, because you're from King Abdulaziz, City of Science and Technology. So what are your thoughts on the role of innovation in this field? What can we do about it?
Okay, thank you very much for this good question, actually. But if you allow me, let me just start with recent update on the RDI ecosystem in Saudi Arabia. Actually, here we are in the process of restructuring the RDI ecosystem in Saudi Arabia, focus on innovation and transforming Saudi Arabia into innovation-driven economy. So a Supreme Committee for RDI were established, headed by the Crown Prince, to establish or to set the national priorities for RDI. And these national priorities that have been announced last June evolve around health and wellness, environment sustainability, energy and industry, and economies of the future. And also there is a new authority for the RDI was created, called RIDIA, Research, Innovation, and Development and Innovation for the RDI, to coordinate efforts and to foster collaboration across all the sectors, and also to fund RDI activities in the kingdom. Saudi Arabia is committed actually to increase spending in RDI to reach 2.5% of the GDP by 2040. When it comes to CACS, is the national lab here in the kingdom is being transformed as a science park, in addition to its role as a national lab to boost innovation and R&D commercialization in the kingdom. So it's very clear that innovation will be a crucial player actually in the national goals in Saudi Arabia. And many of the national strategies actually involve innovation in their strategy. So for mining and the future of mining, innovation need to be required to be, of course, deep inside in mining actually, which means that we need to have new solutions to tackle the challenge that's mining sector facing right now. And of course, when you look at the mineral demands, it's in tremendous rising due to energy transition, electrification of some sectors, automotive, for example, smart mining. So all these industries actually are highly intensive minerals. So of course, there are many challenges that face mineral right now. The access to resources, for example, especially critical minerals, and of course other things like far and deep deposits, carbon emissions, extreme conditions. So when you look at the solutions that can be offered to sort out these challenges, you will think of trends like digitization, automation, decarbonization. So one example, if you combine, for example, digital with automation, you will create kind of innovative integrated systems that could help mining companies and businesses actually to boost productivity, to reduce cost, and to sort out some of the main challenges. If you allow me, let me just give you some examples of the technologies and innovation that we need for the future of minerals. Remote sensing, for example, for mining exploration, that could create mapping for mineral resources with short time and low operating cost. Artificial intelligence, for example, is transforming the whole mining businesses. And it's essential tools actually to bring the health and safe conditions for mine workers, for example. And as I said, reduce cost and promote productivity. So this is just some examples of how innovation could help mining sectors. And according to some international reports, they said that digitization and innovation could help or could save mining sectors more than $350 billion in the coming years, and will of course help reducing waste, enhance safety protocol, and boost productivity.
Okay, thank you. You gave us a lot of thought to think about. Definitely innovation and cost control are extremely important, because we know that mining companies operate a razor-thin margins. So, Muaz, what's your take as someone who's involved in mining and in Saudi Arabia? How important is these innovations in technology coming? And I apologize for the noise outside, but we'll try to mine through all of that. So, go ahead.
Thank you, Amr. I would add my voice. Technology, not just in this industry or similar industries, is the driver. Economy will grow, driven by population, driven by lifestyle. So the demand will increase, and we are challenged to keep up with. Innovation is the enabler. Technology is a little bit used word because we love to use it a lot, but I would rather focus on innovation more than technology. There has been a lot of advancement in the downstream, in the mining specifically, excavation, extraction, and production, run by automation and much more lower capital for human. Nevertheless, at the upstream and the exploration business still require a lot of boots on the grounds, a lot of heavyweight equipment, a lot of deployment in unexplored areas. that part is still yet to be looked at in terms of innovation. There has been a lot of advancement because of computer abilities and processing capabilities, but when it comes to the field operation, you still need those people out there in the middle of nowhere to extract the information that we need to develop that business. It's imperative to understand that exploration side of the mining, where a lot of the human capital is being involved, a lot of data is needed to acquire to geophysically and geologically proving those reserves, still needs a lot of innovation. And yet there is a lot of advancement in censoring, in type of wave propagation. Still, the load goes into more of a capital of people and much more expensive equipment.
Thank you. So you're the man with, as an investor. I heard this morning Benedict from ERG say that investors are not that interested in mining because it's long-term, it's the returns are not sexy enough. It's a complex investment, and to meet the lag of supply and demand, to go back to that question, that it requires anywhere from $200 to $300 billion or more just to close in the gap. So from your viewpoint as an investor and someone who has already has invested in mining, in silica and so forth, what is your opinion? How do you see this from your side?
I mean, the mining industry and such is an attractive industry, especially when the 2030 vision is backing up all the expansions that's happening right now. There is a big capital needed to be injected in the mining industry. Thus, as an investor, it is very, very, very attractive to be. It is a steady market. It does not have that much of up and down, especially in strong commodities. I think the contribution it will add in the GDP right now in the next 5 to 10 years, and the Saudization or the localization of the Saudi youth that will enter into this sector will give a big addition. Thus, the government will back up a lot of investors and make it more attractive for them to get into this market in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, human capacity is I think, a global issue. Young men and women, and we have to include women because women today are unseating the men in all fields, and we're proud of that, and we're proud of them. They have truly become a true partner in the development of this country. And as Prince Abdulaziz was saying, the real energy is in the energy of the young people and the old people as well. I think I have to take issue with him that we old people who are still energetic and want to contribute. So, Chris, do you face that same issue in Australia, and that attracting young people, men and women, to go to work, to become mining workers, either as engineers or mechanics or even labor, whatever. And how do you cope with it? How do you handle the training, and how do you develop this man and machine partnership?
Yeah, we do. We certainly do face that issue in Australia. And we've seen it coming for a long time, but we haven't been good at addressing it. So there's a couple of things to look at. First of all, we are working with both universities and also at a high school level to talk about what a mining career is all about. We run a Women in STEM program, so trying to attract females studying STEM subjects in university into the mining industry. And what we do is we offer them internships so they can come and experience what mining's all about. And the thing about mining is not all mining jobs are at a mine site. And in fact, in Australia, we employ more people in capital cities for mining than are in remote and regional locations. So most of the jobs are city jobs, 9 to 5, and a lot of those are dealing with technology. And when you explain what the career potential are to young people who aren't necessarily mining engineers, but they're studying biology, they're studying physics, they're studying mathematics, they might be studying English or finance as well, that's attractive to them. And once they get a flavor for what mining's all about, we have found from our program that 80% of those females say that they are going to pursue a career in mets and mining. So that's pretty exciting. At the high school level, what we're trying to do is work in regional locations, particularly in regions where there are mining operations, to introduce students at an earlier age to what mining's all about and change their frame of reference of what they think. So what we're doing is we're taking in robots, we're using AI, we're using gaming technology to engage students so they can better understand that the mining career of today is a high-tech career. It's not necessarily away from your family. It's not necessarily getting all dirty and being in an environment which is unpleasant, but that it can be very exciting. And that there's many, many opportunities and options for those young people today. So we're working on that. We're behind the 8 ball for sure. But I think once you tell the real story to young people, once they really understand what a mining career is all about and the various pathways, that slowly we'll start attracting back the talent that we need.
Great. So you're changing the perception of people, and especially young people. And you added sexiness to the job to make it more interesting and attractive.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest advancements in mining technology happened really around 2015 with the introduction of collecting data on a mobile phone. And everyone has a mobile phone these days, and the data that you can collect off machines, the data you can collect off sensors, the data you can collect off conveyors, and look at that data in real time and be able to make decisions from it. It could be on your phone or it could be in a remote operations center somewhere. These are exciting jobs. We are competing with companies like Google, like with Tesla, with other companies. But when you look at the range of options in mining, when you look at the opportunity also to travel, because mining careers can take you to many different areas of the world, and you also tell the story about how, particularly from a supplier side of things, that we are improving mining. We're making it more sustainable. We're making it more environmentally friendly. And that's where the social license to operate comes in as well.
Excellent. Muad, what's your experience with attracting young Saudi men and women to work in your company? And is it a major challenge? Do you have programs for training them, for qualifying them in order to be able to work safely? And are you using technology at all to make it easier for them to be attracted to such jobs?
So a major part of the challenge is what Chris highlighted, and perception. Heavy industry's been severely hammered with media over the years. And when you say mining in a school, they picture dirty faces in the tunnel, excavating rocks and coal. And that's the challenge when it comes to a natural resource exploration, whether it's oil, gas, mining, or geothermal, or any other application that we are after. And definitely the world today is different, and major part of it is the education that Chris and her team are doing, and the ministries and everybody in our industry trying to educate that. Having said that, the Arabian Geophysical and Surveying Company, Argaz, which I'm proudly part of, was established 60 years to localize and champion that knowledge of the surface and subsurface. And for the past 60 years, we have proudly been a positive enabler of training and development of the local workforce in the kingdom or elsewhere where we operate, because today we operate outside the kingdom as well. The other day we had a workshop with our friends in CAST, and I think we were like 20, 30 people on the table, and proudly more than 90% of them have been working for Argaz or did the training as part of it, and it gives a huge sense of responsibility and proudness at the same time. We offer equal and fair treatment. That include male, female, it would include the old and the young, and we believe in diversity. However, job profiling is an important part. Yes, we have jobs in the office, and we have jobs out in the remote, 700 kilometers away from civilization. We have field rotations, which are difficult. Not many people can stay home for periods exceeding a month away from their family or their lifestyle general. So the best selection is to fit the right profile for the right job. I don't think quality is the term, but fairness is the right term. We struggle to find people to go out there when you are competing against much more comfortable and more rewarding industries of real estate, banking, and many others. Still, we have passionate people who want to be out in the nature, looking for the treasures out there, whether they were minerals or any other natural resources. It's a special profile that we look for, and we welcome everybody, male and female, to join us into this journey.
Very good. So, Saud, let me jump to you, but I want it from a different angle. So let's talk about training, training young Saudi talent for the mining industry. Do you see mining companies in Saudi Arabia, such as Argaz and your company and other companies, collaborate together in creating a specialized academy that can provide what is really needed in terms of mining expertise and talent? How would you see that from your angle?
Actually, there is a mining academy right now in the north part of Saudi where they prepare Saudi youth who recently graduate and try to get them into the atmosphere of mining, you know, sending them into different mines, letting them touch base with what they're really doing. I think most of mining companies are being involved in Saudization, especially in their mines. We have a couple of programs in our quarries right now where we are trying to train Saudi youth and trying to give them different job roles, rotations. The most or the biggest, let's say, downfall is that most of the mines are out of reach. Most of them are far from cities. So this gives us a very big challenge, especially when the Saudi culture is always close from families and close. So there are a couple of ways our program is working on it. We have over, I think, 55 Saudis in our mines right now where they are doing the rotation. And we have around 70% of them are staying and continuing and, you know, moving around in different quarries. So I think this will happen today or tomorrow, and this will, the fastest company who will adapt to this will have an advantage against the other companies.
Excellent. Text.
Yeah, of course. Advanced training for high-tech technology is very important. So I would just give you our experience at CACS to provide this kind of advanced training. We have what we call Joint Center of Excellence programs, and this with leading institutions around the world on high-tech technologies across all the sectors. We have 15 Joint Center of Excellence with the leading institutions in US and Europe, MIT, Harvard, Berkeley, Santa Barbara, and Cambridge, Oxford, and others. So the aim of this actually is to provide advanced training for talent, bachelor graduates on high-tech technologies, and then they can complete or carry on their graduate studies in these schools. So this kind of programs actually bring to CACS talents actually on, and maybe in our meeting with our gas company, as he said, there was full of talent around the tables, specialized in different areas. But I think we need to focus on the future of mining, on the high-tech technology. As Chris said, now the job in mining is high-tech. So we need to focus. I think the mining sector need to compete with the IT sectors to attract talents to the mining. So we have this kind of programs. It's now for CACS, but we aim actually to make it national, to attract all the national from across the country, and send them to these leading institutions to get that kind of advanced training.
Excellent. I've been reading a little bit about something I know very little about, which is metaverse and how it can be used to simulate, working in mines from safety training as well as from training people on how to use equipment and so forth. But Chris, let me go to another kind of angle. In the mining field, there are lots of stakeholders. There are the scientists who are sitting in labs and coming up with various solutions and their R&D. We have mining companies that need equipment, they need to upgrade their mines, they need to make them much more efficient and so forth. You've got the equipment suppliers and who are part of that ecosystem. So how much collaboration do you see first in Australia and then from your viewpoint globally?
Well, collaboration, and we've been talking about it already throughout the last couple days, is essential to overcome the challenges that we face as a mining industry. And in Australia, we are seeing a high level of collaboration amongst the different partners. It's taken a long time to build that collaborative ecosystem. And as you described, what we have in Australia is we have the universities and research institutes, we have the mining companies, we have the METS sector, so mining equipment, technology and services, and we have government as part of that ecosystem, which is vital in order to help us, particularly on the discovery side and the R&D side. One of the most exciting developments, though, I think, that we're seeing in the mining industry is the collaboration amongst the big miners. Because really, to look at those major challenges that the industry faces, it's going to take collaboration and alignment between all of the mining companies in order to solve the biggest challenges that we are facing. And an example of that is the Charge on Innovation Challenge, which OSMine facilitated last year, which involved 3 patron members, which was Rio Tinto, Vale and BHP, who kicked off this challenge, and ended up involving 21 mining companies from around the world. collaborating to solve the challenge of the electrification of large haul trucks on open pit mine sites. And what we did is we put out that challenge to about 32 different countries, working not only in mining but across a number of different fields, defense, car manufacturing, space. And we had 330 original expressions of interest, narrowed it down to 91 companies, narrowed it down to 21 companies, and then chose a final 7 companies to work on this electrification issue. And when I say chose, we didn't choose. The mining companies working together chose the finalist solutions. And now many of those solutions have gone ahead with consortiums of mining companies to solve the challenge. And actually 3ME, I can see Justin here, was one of the companies, a regional company from Australia who was shortlisted for this challenge. And he has a booth outside if you want to talk to him. Yeah. But having the mining companies, that is the first time that we know of that mining companies have collaborated on such a scale. And in order for us, again, to solve our issues, in order for us to get the best innovations, we need to pull, all the talent we have together. And projects like that are only going to become more frequent and more commonplace, which I think is great for mining.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think there isn't a single sector around the world that you can do on your own. You have to collaborate and you have to cooperate. Today in Saudi Arabia, we have the National Mining Council that is bringing private sector, public sector, and other stakeholders together to look at the challenges that Muad, you mentioned a minute ago, how you also had meetings with CACST and other forums in order to discuss these challenges that are specific to Saudi Arabia and maybe collaborations as well with international organizations. So we can learn best practice, we can learn new technologies, new processes, and so it's for the benefit of all. How do you see it from your perspective?
So one beautiful thing about mining is that people are specialized. So unlike many other different industries where consolidation gathered all service companies into a certain a frame or a box, mining is not. Because a big component of it is driven by desire and passion and curiosity. So people who are more into the gold, for example, they are really specialized into the gold exploration. And I'm talking about scientific side of the things, from a technology, from processing, from survey designs, and so on. Not talking about the guys who own the reserves. So as part of this, you can never find a single one platform that will offer you a wide spectrum of exploration. Gold, it has its own arena and expertise. Lithium, it's a different game. Uranium is another game, and so on and so forth. Gold by itself is more than 16 different type of reflections. So you may even, during your exploration program, you pass by gold, you are not even aware that you have wealth in your territory or your acreage. So for us as a champion, a local champion here in the kingdom, which we take the responsibility to accelerate and champion this development of the mining to achieve our Vision 2030, we went out to the global market looking at different technologies and different specialized houses. And what we are trying to do is to build a collaboration among all this network of affiliate, as I would like to call it, so we will be able to offer a seamless solution for investors and miners here in the kingdom. So Once you get your own acreage, you'll be able to know if you have zinc, gold. Maybe you are interested in gold, but you will find zinc that is worth a lot to you. If you were only narrowed on the gold, you might miss the opportunity in other wealth. We are trying to build that network of affiliate. Today we are working with more than 30 different firms around the world. The beauty about this is that we represent the local knowledge, we have the boots on the ground, we run the remote operations, we have heavy equipment and capital, while usually those passionate, curious experts, they are more on the processing and interpretation and provide certain back-end value, if you like. So with us, we do present a ready, outstanding solution as much as we can that we hope that will accelerate the mining development here in the kingdom and at a global scale at some point.
Great. So as someone who's investing in the mining area, are you collaborating with international companies, other local companies? How do you see collaboration helping your business?
I mean, most of the Saudi companies are collaborating with international companies as they have more innovation and they have more new technology than what we have. But still in the kingdom, we are collaborating with a lot of governmental entities, such as universities, the ministries, that are trying to give us more information and more help regarding the mining industry. So most of the collaboration right now regarding of new tech is coming out of the Saudi market from international companies.
Excellent. Dr. Said, CACS, since I've known it, has always been foremost in innovation and, for example, the solar village from the 60s,
Yes.
When I was a child. How do you see the collaboration from your end? Okay, I understand mining companies and equipment manufacturers and so forth are looking at what R&Ds you have. But what do you take from the field, from people who are involved in that business, and how do you see that collaboration?
Of course, I mean, I think the national lab or the R&D, usually we receive the technical problems, the actual problems from the fields and take it to the lab and find technical solutions using all the capabilities in CACS or in other R&D. But in CACS, as a national lab, we are responsible for housing the national labs that, for example, the solar panel assembly, we have assembly line, production line with a capacity of 100 mega watt per year. And the aim actually is to enhance the efficiency and build some pilot scales for different sectors, and then study all the impacts of the from R&D perspective, and bring the technical solutions to the industry. So from R&D perspective, there is two ways. I think CACS is responsible actually to find the technical solution, to focus on the applied research. The fundamental research, it could be sorted by universities. And of course, innovation and, I mean, still fundamental research is required. And most of the breakthroughs start from fundamental research. But I mean, CACS is responsible for the applied research and help the private sectors actually to find technical solution for their problems. And yesterday, for example, we signed an agreement with Ma'adin, a company actually to work on both upstream and downstream mineral processing, and of course, I mean, find technical solutions to some problems or some challenges that they face. Also, we had a great collaboration with Argas, for example, and I think that's since 5 years ago started, and now we have the prototype that produced from this collaboration is autonomous underwater vehicles that use seismic technology for mineral exploration in the deep sea. So I would invite you all actually to go and see the prototype in the smart mining zone. So this kind of collaboration, of course, will bring solutions to the people in the field.
Honestly, the subjects are so exciting. I don't want the conversation to end, but unfortunately, we have come to the closure of this panel. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. I personally have learned a lot, and I hope our audience has got a lot of value added from your discussions. I encourage everybody to reach out to our panelists with any questions or thoughts or ideas and so forth. We're all in this together and see this mining sector grow by leaps and bounds. Join me in giving my panel, my distinguished panel, a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.